Hello plant lovers, here is Rahul Rao from Horticulture Rejuvenation. Today I am here with snake plants whose botanical name is Sansevieria. Today I am gonna share its care in detail, so stay till the end. Today's video is also going to be in two languages, that is Hindi and English. You can watch in either of the languages. Before coming to its care, I want to share few things about this plant. That this plant is an air purifier. This plant takes harmful volatile organic compounds floating in the air and makes the air pure. It also releases oxygen during night. Right now I am having 6 varieties of Sansevierias. You can see these plants. I have been growing this plant from past 3-4 years, and today I am gonna share how I have cared and how I have kept my plant healthy. So let's begin. I'll begin with pot size. What should be the pot size for this plant? The pot size can vary with the species, and according to me, most of the species can be planted in 10 to 12 inches of pot. But some of the species, like this species, I have planted in little smaller pot and it is doing great in this pot. When I bought this plant, I have also bought the pot, and as I have realized that this plant will look good in this shape of pot, and the size is also suiting. So you can mostly choose 10 to 12 inches of pot for these species. You can see these species are planted in almost 10 to 12 inches of pot and they are doing great. One thing to be noted that the bigger the pot, the plant will get more bushier. As it is rhizomatous, it pops leaves from bottom, and as much space it will get, it will keep on popping from bottom. So it will also depend that how bushier you want your plant, and according to me 10 to 12 inches of pot does really good, and after 3-4 years you can also repot the plant for its better growth. So plant in medium size pot, it does good in that. After that I'll come to soil mix. A balanced soil mix will do good for this plant. 45% soil, 20% sand, 15% compost, 15% coco coir and 5% dried leaves and stem. Provide this soil mix and plant will do great in this soil mix. After that I'll come to its sunlight. Sansevierias can be grown in multiple sunlight conditions, and today I'm gonna share 4 sunlight conditions that you can grow this plant, and it will do really good. And the major part of growing and providing right sunlight is we have to keep the plant healthy. So if you want to keep the plant healthy, then you have to provide proper sunlight. Otherwise, too much of direct sunlight can really stress the plant, and too much shade can result in strength growth. So the first sunlight condition I want to share is 4 to 5 hours of indirect sunlight. You can keep the plant in 4 to 5 hours of indirect sunlight for whole year, whether it is summer or winter. It does really good in this sunlight condition. So this is the standard part, and the second sunlight condition I want to share is 2 to 3 hours of indirect sunlight, and after that if it will get good bright sunlight also, it does good in this condition also. So providing moderate indirect sunlight can also work good for this plant, and it will thrive good in that condition also. Third condition is 2 to 3 hours of direct sunlight, whether it is morning or evening. Avoid noons, and after that if it will get good bright sunlight or indirect sunlight, it can do good in that also. Avoid direct sunlight during summers if temperature in your region shoots above 36 degrees Celsius. And the last, good bright sunlight of 4000 to 5000 lumens. It can result in little slow growth, but it will do fine in this condition also. Provide these sunlight conditions, plant will do really good. After that I'll come to its watering. Sansevieria likes to reside in little dry state, so you have to check for at least a half inch of moisture, and in between a half inch of moisture to 1 inch of moisture. Water good during summers and less during winters. Why? Because it grows really good during summers and it goes into dormancy during winters when temperature drops below 18 degrees Celsius. So you might see it growing whole year except winter. Plant consumes more water during growing period. So you do not have to leave too much dry during growing period. When I first started growing plants, initially I used to ignore watering. But as I have grown as a gardener, what I have seen that if you will water the plant in discipline and in regular intervals, plant results really good. So if you want to keep the plant healthy, then you have to do watering in discipline. My secret of growing plant healthy is I never miss watering. So water good and keep the plant healthy. After that I'll come to repotting. Repotting is also one of the important part when we grow plant in pot, because plant gets root bound after a period of time. Especially when you'll grow in 10 to 12 inches of pot, it will get root bound in 3-4 years. Some of my plants are repotted, and you can see this plant is repotted once, and you can see its plants which has been separated by propagation by division. And my this plant is also repotted. So you have to repot when it will get too much bushier and when it will get root bound. So you have to observe that thing. If plant will get root bound, repot, because if you will not repot, plant will consume more water, and the most of the problem occurs during summer because it consumes good water during summer. And if you will leave too much dry during summers, it can get bugs and it will look unhealthy because of that. So you have to observe these things and repot when needed. After that I'll come to bugs. Sansevierias mostly suffer from fungi attack, such as leaf spot and rust disease. If you will spot any leaf spot or rust disease, then remove that infected leaf and spray fungicide to further protect the plant. So removing infected leaves is also one of the important part to keep the plant healthy and grow healthy. After that I'll come to propagation. Sansevierias are easy to propagate, whether from cutting or from propagation by division. It also grows good in water. You can see that I have kept one plant in water, and I have grown in water also. You can keep whole year in water. It does really good in that. And when we'll come to shooting roots from cutting, then if you will cut the leaf from here and if you'll place the plant in water, then it will shoot leaves. One thing is, you do not have to do this thing during winters because it goes into dormancy during winters. When I'll come to propagation by division, I'll show you how this plant can be propagated by division. As you can see that I'm digging from side, and I'll take this plant out. I'll propagate. You can see this. You can see it is coming out. Now this part is connected. This part is connected, which I'm gonna cut. You can see this root. I have cut this root, and you can separate these plants, and again this part is connected. You can also, I'm showing you, you can cut this from here and from here, and you can propagate this plant. And if you will immerse in any soil, it will start growing. You can see this. Easy to propagate. This propagation method is called propagation by division. Eventually I'll come to its flowering. When Sansevieria flowers, many people ask that when my snake plant will flower, and as you can see that one of my varieties flowering, because one plant I have kept here, and one plant I have kept here. This plant was little difficult to move, so I haven't shifted there. You can see that this plant is flowering, and this plant has flowered several times from past 2-3 years. And according to my experience, 2 of my varieties have flowered and many are yet to flower. According to me, 2 to 4 years it takes to bloom. So when plant will get mature, it will bloom. Just grow it. Don't worry about its flowering. When the time will come, it will flower. So this was the care of Sansevieria in detail. Hopefully you liked it, and from now you won't be having any problem growing Sansevieria. Thank you for watching. Keep gardening.